Hello everyone, this is Mark Leibovit from VRTrader.com or the Leibovit VRNewsletters.com. You're looking, of course, at the order page at Tradestation's App Store for my Leibovit Volume Reversal Indicator. You're getting this video because either you're on a trial or you are a client. And if you are a client, I thank you. If you're on a trial, it is available at $95 a month. Let's go over some charts and so forth just a moment, but I want to remind you, of course, that I do publish a series of newsletters, and you're looking at them on the screen. Very popular is the Cannabis Vice letter with all that's going on in the Vice cannabis space. And that includes Bitcoin, that includes the cannabis stocks, both Canada and US, so very exciting area. But I encourage you to check out my newsletters. And I also would like you to check out my radio show, Wall Street Raw, which airs Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern on the Genesis Network. It's also on Saturday evening on Biz Talk Radio at 10 p.m. It's also on Sunday morning at Money Talk Radio 1510 in Phoenix, and iHeartRadio, along with iTunes, also carries a show. We have a bunch of guests, very interesting stuff. I don't think any other show is like it. You hear me very little. You hear my guests more, which I think is what makes it really interesting. So let's jump into the TradeStation charts. I'm just showing you a little bit about how I use it. Those of you who have signed up, maybe you're not clear. This is a very simple process. You can put in any other indicator you want on the screen. This is how I do it. I've been doing this for a number of years, actually almost 40 years. I'm 69 years old. I've done this a long time, folks. I may sound a lot younger, which is great. I guess it's the business that keeps you going. But what you're looking at here is Tesla on a daily basis. And we had a nice play in this few weeks ago when we had that big break. And the trigger was this big Leibovit negative volume reversal, as I call it. Now on the screen you've got a blue line, and that's your 200-day moving, I mean, your 50-day moving average, I'm sorry. Then you got your green line, which is your 200-day. Below which, of course, you got your volume bars, color-coded, red down, blue up. Um, Orange is inside, green is outside. So that's sort of the coding of these colors, but not that important for this analysis. And below that is my, I guess you would call confirming indicator, my 533 stochastic. And as a general rule, it's not carved in stone, but I like to see that turning up or rising when I get a positive volume reversal, as you can see here that I'm circling. And that was on August 3rd. Or on the downside, I like to see it rolling over, turning down when I get a negative volume reversal, as we saw here back on June 26th. And that's sort of it, you know. And of course, I like to see what these moving averages are because everybody else pays attention to them. But we had some really nice trades here. We caught this big break in Tesla. We went long the puts, and you can see there's some good correlation here, which is what I like to see. Way back here, let's see, this is back on May 24th, positive volume reversal. We're starting to turn up in the stochastic. I generally look for, 2-day, 3-day trades. You can put up the weekly chart, which we can here, and let's just take a look at that for a second to see how it fared on the weekly. So let's put that up here. And sometimes you get some really nice patterns there as well, and you can trade if you want using each bar and thinking that it's a day and play it for a week, and you can put up 5 minutes and play with all kinds of time frames. I use daily, but you can see here on the weekly chart negative VR, and the stock's been under pressure here for the last 2-3 weeks following that pattern, and there was a positive VR here. Let's see what this was. This was on March 17th, so that's a weekly chart. It trended up, negative VR here. This was on February 24th. It went down for a couple of weeks. So there is some correlation, nice correlation. You can see what followed through after the volume. And what we're doing is just measuring the shift of buyers to sellers. But I again tend to focus on the daily chart. So recently here you got a little mixture of signals. The most recent one was negative from a couple of days ago. I'm recording this just early in the morning on August 21st, the solar eclipse day. But you can see we've already been quite a bit to the downside in the stochastic and getting oversold here. So there is a gap here, and that gap, let's see here, the high is 327. So I would think with the negative ERs that you should get back to that 327 area, and stochastic is still in a downtrend. But I'm not in it at the moment. But let's see how it all pans out. Let's also look at a couple other situations here briefly while I have your attention. Let's look at IWM, which is the Russell 2000. And this has been negative for several weeks, and that's one of the reasons I've been a bit cautious on the market. Negative volume reversal here. This was on July 21st, which, by the way, is the birthday of our service. We formed the service, believe it or not, July 21st, 1979. That's how far back we go. Now, there was a little a conflicting positive ER 2 days later, but the stochastic has been turning down, and I generally don't play that, particularly with the theory that I'm trying to sell near tops and I'm trying to buy near bottoms. In other words, I like to catch negative ERs after a rally, positive ERs after a decline, starting to turn up. So if I'm getting a positive ER on the top of a move, I generally pretty much ignore it anyway. But in this case, the stochastic said stand aside. But you can see we've been in a downtrend, negative ERs on the Russell, just telling us that we've been under pressure and going down, and each worked really well here in terms of creating a nice trade for you. Um, so let's put up IYT, which is a Dow Transports ETF. Similar pattern here. Nice correlation, negative volume reversal, declining 533 stochastic. Same thing here a couple days ago. Then you had a little play for a couple, 3 days to the upside. Let's see, that started on August 3rd, you had a rising stochastic coming out of a bomb, so it was a couple day trade there. So in a nutshell, folks, this is what I'm doing. I'm looking at the shifts in volume, the stochastic. I have a monitor screen, and I track favorite sectors and stocks, and then I can't follow them all. There's probably thousands that are occurring during the course of a day, but you tend to follow ones, and you trade the ones that you have confidence with. And as long as you can see correlations like we see here in IYT, IWM, and the Tesla, that's really what gets us going here and trying to trade and make some money. So thank you again for tuning in. Appreciate your time. And if you haven't signed up, please do so. If you have any questions about the indicator, email me, mark.vrtrader@gmail.com. That's mark.vrtrader@gmail.com. Thank you and happy solar eclipse.